The child is grown, the dream is gone, but the Sox still have a lot of work to do. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and Juan SOto got paid. It just wasn't with the Red Sox. We all knew that this was the most probable outcome at the end of the day, but that doesn't mean the Sox don't have anything left to do. In fact, they already are pivoting towards their plan B, so we got a lot to talk about in today's video where we're going over the latest Red Sox rumors, how the Juan SOto stuff affects the offseason, what this all ultimately means for the Boston Red Sox. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. I think the immediate reaction to the Red Sox not getting Juan SOto are going to be the same sort of reactions we've had over the last couple of years, and that is ownership is too cheap, that this was all a PR stunt, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think the Red Sox cheaped out on Juan SOto. They offered 15 years in the $700 million range. We don't know if it was slightly below or slightly above, but we know it was in that $700 million range. I just think at the end of the day, the New York Mets just simply weren't going to be outbid for Juan SOto. They ended up giving him basically $800 million with all the incentives packed into there. I'm not sitting here forgiving the Red Sox ownership for not going as hard as they could have. I'm not sitting here excusing the Red Sox not going as hard as they should have. I'm just saying maybe there was something to this where just simply the Mets weren't going to be outbid. Is it encouraging that the Red Sox offered $700 million? Yeah, it absolutely should be, especially once we start taking a look at these next rumors. But man, I am disappointed they didn't end up with SOto. I thought there was a chance for a while. Clearly, they just simply weren't going to go to that extra level towards that $800 million range. However, that doesn't mean that the Red Sox offseason is stopped, and already there are a bunch of rumors about where the Red Sox are going to go. I think the biggest one, the most important one right now is how the Red Sox pivot in terms of the starting pitching market. The first report here that we need to talk about is we know that the Red Sox are in on both Burnes and Max Fried. Alex Spear reported yesterday, I believe, they have met with both Fried and Burnes. Burnes was over a Zoom call, and we don't know quite yet what the Fried meeting looked like. This simply has to be priority number one. Not coming out of the offseason with SOto really sucks, but that would have been generationally fantastic. Coming out of the offseason without a starting pitcher like Burnes or Fried, I think at this point is a total failure. The Red Sox have built themselves up. Expectations are really high, and we know that the Red Sox need to get more pitching into this rotation. If they can't do that, it is an absolute failure. Now, we don't really know which side the Red Sox are preferring right now, whether that be Burnes or Max Fried. What we do know is that Max Fried is projected to go to one of the Red Sox or the Yankees. Bob Nightingale yesterday also put out that he firmly believes that Max Fried will end up with either the Red Sox or the Yankees on a deal that surpasses $200 million. And this is going to be the biggest problem with the Yankees and the Red Sox specifically not getting Juan SOto, is that every single other big free agent on the market is going to be a battle between the Red Sox and the Yankees. In my opinion, this should be where the Red Sox step up efforts immediately. This should be exactly where the Red Sox pivot to as fast as humanly possible before the competition can even start to consider going after one of these guys. I don't think it's possible, considering Max Fried has already met with the New York Yankees, but man, go out, get your guy, get your starting pitcher. There is another way the Red Sox could get their starting pitching, and that is via trade. But as of right now, it sounds like the Red Sox are sort of on the outside looking in at the big fish on the trade market, Garrett Crochet. A few reports have come out over the last couple of days. According to Chris Castillo specifically, right now they're sort of on the periphery as to this Garrett Crochet trade sweepstakes. One of the reasons could be that they're not willing to trade Marcelo Meyer. We've had some conflicting reports over the last couple of days that the Red Sox are considering trading him. Sean McAdam is saying that there's a possibility they aren't willing to do that. John Morrissey was on MLB Network yesterday saying that they are more than willing to trade Marcelo Meyer, specifically in that Garrett Crochet deal. So I don't know where this Garrett Crochet thing ends up. I think honestly right now the Red Sox are sitting there saying we're willing to wait this out because of the players that are available still on the open market, to see if we can wait out the Garrett Crochet stuff and wait and see if the Chicago White Sox end up bringing their price down a little bit just to get something from him before the offseason ends. So I don't absolutely hate that. I actually think it might be a smart idea by the Boston Red Sox to just simply wait out Garrett Crochet. Another name that was mentioned over this last weekend in terms of potential trades is Tristan Casas. Alex Spear put out an article that said, in fact, the Red Sox have already approached one AL team about a headline deal for a starting pitcher that involves Tristan Casas. I don't get it. I simply don't. Unless there's a Vladdy Jr. coming in the next couple of days, trading Tristan, especially because also mentioned in this article they wanted to exclude Wilyer from these talks, makes absolutely no sense to me. I hate this idea, but that's out there as well. I would keep an eye on both Marcelo and Tristan Casas as trade rumors start to sort of roll in here over the next couple of days in the winter meetings, because apparently these are both the guys the Red Sox are looking to headline potentially deals with starting pitchers. Another starting pitcher name to pay attention to is Luis Castillo of the Seattle Mariners. Last night, it was announced that the Mariners are going to be at least having conversations about trading Luis Castillo. In my opinion, we actually already talked about him earlier in the offseason. I believe it was all the way back in October at this point now. It makes a lot of sense for the Red Sox to at least take a look at this guy. He's not going to be as expensive as some of these younger controllable arms. You wouldn't be giving up a ton. I would highly doubt it would take Marcelo Meyer or Tristan Casas to get that deal done. So that's a name I'm paying attention to for sure. But I think ultimately, right, the number one priority right now has to be starting pitching. Get your guy, and then the rest will fall into place. A lot of rumors, a lot of reports already surrounding the Red Sox and starting pitching, and that's absolutely fantastic. I think, again, it's going to be extremely competitive. There are going to be a lot of teams looking for these frontline guys, specifically a very angry New York Yankees. So the Red Sox, they're going to need to get uncomfortable. They're going to need to get aggressive. It's going to need to start right now. But it's not just starting pitching the Red Sox have already been linked with in terms of their plan B. Let's talk about some targets the Red Sox currently have on the other side of the ball. The obvious report outside of the pitching is that the Red Sox are in on Teoscar Hernandez. We've known this for a while. This was actually the player that I predicted the Red Sox ended up with on the offensive side of things when all is said and done. This weekend, we were told that while the Dodgers are the clear favorite to bring him back, it looks like the Sox, and again, of course, the New York Yankees are also involved in the mix as well. We do also have some confirmation that they did contact Anthony Santander as well, the switch-hitting power player. But the overall belief is that the Red Sox pretty clearly favorite Teoscar Hernandez over Anthony Santander, although as of last night, Chris Castillo is reporting that they have yet to step up efforts for Teoscar meaningfully. Don't love that. Again, when we're talking about what plan B is going to have to be for Boston, it's going to have to be aggressive. You're going to have to get out there and really, really start to make some contact with these guys. It is still the beginning of winter meetings. There's still a ton of time here for the Red Sox to get aggressive, but there's some stiff competition. Literally, both of the teams that were in the World Series last year, one of them, Teoscar Hernandez, won the World Series with, are vying for his services. It's going to be really difficult for the Red Sox to go over there and pitch him on this team. I still think they end up with him at the end of the day, but that's just my opinion right now. There's no real hard evidence to back that up, so we're going to have to wait and see again over the next couple of days as to how this develops. But one other player that kind of surprisingly the Red Sox may be prioritizing right now is Alex Bregman. Last night, after the Soto news dropped, Rob Bradford put out a report that the Red Sox may end up prioritizing Bregman of all people. He also specifically mentioned that the Red Sox could be looking for him to play second base, which to me doesn't really make a ton of sense given how well Alex Bregman plays third base. It feels like that wouldn't be a super great upgrade to the Red Sox infield, right? At least in my opinion, you're going to be teaching Bregman a new position where you could just put Bregman at third base and Rafael Devers move to DH and you move Massa, but I think there's a lot of moving parts in that situation. So maybe the Red Sox are looking at it as, hey, if we can move Massa, then we can make Rafi DH, but if we can't move Massa, which is probably going to be more likely given the contract that's attached to him, we can always put him at second base and still have a productive infield. I would assume that's their line of thinking, but honestly, I don't really know. I don't love the idea of Bregman. I'm not totally sold on it, especially with the money that's going to be attached. We do know as of last week that the Houston Astros offered him a 6-year, $156 million contract. So at the bare minimum, the Red Sox are going to have to offer him at least that amount of money, probably more if they want to pry him away from the team that he's been on since he came up through the minor league systems, right? It's going to probably take more. Willy Adames just made almost $200 million with the San Francisco Giants, so he's probably going to be around that range, and that's really taking a risk here, signing a guy who's 31 years old to a 7-year deal. I don't know if I'm fully sold on Alex Bregman, but the Red Sox are looking to make improvements on the offensive side, and there really isn't a perfect fit out there. We talk about this all the time, whether you want to go with Arenado, whether you want to go with Teoscar or a Bregman, or even a guy like Seiya Suzuki. None of these guys are absolutely perfect fits with the Red Sox. They all serve a specific possible need, but you're going to have to move some things around to make it happen, and I think that's exactly what we're going to see over the next couple of days with the Red Sox, a whole lot of shuffling. Overall, I think looking at it, yeah, I'm disappointed the Red Sox didn't get Juan Soto. Yeah, I'm disappointed that the Red Sox ended up basically coming in third place for the Juan Soto sweepstakes, especially considering everything we heard about this being their guy and the Red Sox going after Juan Soto with an aggression that we haven't seen in a long time, right? If this was your dude, you should have been willing to go up to that extra mile, up to that extra step, but that doesn't mean that this offseason's a total failure. I think for the most part, everyone kind of assumed that the Red Sox were always never really the favorites to get Juan Soto, that it was always assumed that more likely than not, the Red Sox were going to have to pivot. Well, now that time has officially come, and this is where the true, I would say, colors of the Red Sox are going to show. Are they really as all in on making this team competitive as they've been over this offseason, or as we've been told they've been over this offseason? We're about to find out real quickly. I will say, Soto going to the Mets really opens the AL. The Yankees were the clear favorite all season long, but now they don't have Juan Soto and Aaron Judge in that lineup. They don't have a solid lineup to compete with a lot of these teams, and the Red Sox could possibly do that. I think with the right moves, the Red Sox very well still could be a very competitive team in this AL and a very competitive team in Major League Baseball in general. Now's the time to prove it. What we need to see from the Red Sox at this point is true aggression, and I think it's going to be a really, really interesting winter meetings. I think there are going to be a lot of moves made for this Red Sox team, and I'm hoping there's at least one legitimately big fish landed by the time they leave Dallas this week. But until then, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. 1, what do you think about the Red Sox losing out on Soto? 2, what do you think about the Red Sox pivot? Do you like what we're hearing so far about where the Red Sox are possibly going at this point? And where do you think the Red Sox ultimately land in this? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It helps these videos out a ton, and it's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you want to listen instead of watch these episodes, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.